Hello, guys. Welcome, everybody, to Purple Haze Podcast. I am your lovely host, Isaac here. So, the Minnesota Vikings will be taking on the Green Bay Packers Week 17 at US Bank Stadium on Sunday night for the New Year's Eve. We'll go ahead and preview that, and then we'll move on to playoff scenarios as far as I'm concerned. Mathematically, the Vikings are not completely out, but let's go ahead and before we get to playoffs, let's get to the preview first as far as like the Vikings offense compared to the Packers defense. I mean, one key player, Jair Alexander, who was suspended for a game for I don't remember the rules really of why he was suspended, but he is suspended, which basically aka Mr. Safety Help, who decided to do the gritty and make it all personal and all that. So, I mean, disappointing that I don't get to see him get torched by his father and his father-in-law, Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. But I digress. Their forefront is like minimum at best. They're all right, but their secondary is not really at all that great. So, I mean, they just allowed the previous two games. The previous three games they allowed Tommy DeVito to march down their field and score the game-winning field goal on them. And then you got Baker Mayfield throwing perfect at Lambeau for the first time. And you got a god-awful Panthers team almost just barely squeaking away a win against the Carolina Panthers for Week 16. So, for the Vikings offense, Jaren Hall, it's basically, with Nick Mullins as a quarterback or Joshua Dobbs, I don't think they're going to get them the win, but with Jaren Hall, I want to at least see who he is, really, and see who Jaren Hall is, so that's a good thing, but the good thing about Jaren Hall is that, yes, there is no Jordan Addison, yes, there is no TJ Hawkinson, but you still got some pretty decent playmakers. You have the best wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, you got maybe Josh Oliver, you got Brandon Powell maybe, and KJ Osborne that can make plays. They can make plays too. It's just, what raw talent does Jaren Hall have? That's what I am looking about. And this dude, Jaren Hall, has a lot of upside as far as what type of rookie quarterback he can be. I'm super excited to see what this dude is all about, but there's basically no reason for the Vikings to at least put up at least maybe 24 plus points, at least, because the Packers defense is terrible. So, getting to the Vikings defense, last two games against the Bengals and against the Lions, it hasn't been great. Missed tackles, missed assignments, just all left and right. And it kind of does concern me because the Packers offense is actually getting pretty decent than compared to the first 8 or 9 games that they've been playing. It hasn't been that good. It has been good right now as of late, but I think we'll see what Brian Flores has in store. I'm pretty sure he might adjust, but injuries do happen, but I get that, but you still gotta make stops when it happens. Don't leave the rookie quarterback hanging out to dry, really. And cross my fingers that Jaren Hall doesn't get injured. Cross my fingers. Anyways, getting to the playoffs, as far as I'm concerned, the Vikings are now the 8th seed right now, as far as I'm concerned. So you got teams that are up in front of you, like you have the Seattle Seahawks, you have the LA Rams, The LA Rams are the 6th seed. The Seattle Seahawks are the 7th seed. So here's how the Vikings can at least get one playoff spot is it doesn't matter if it's like the 6th or the 7th. But if the Vikings can at least win both games against the Lions and the Packers, and then the Vikings must at least, as for the Rams and the Seahawks, you're gonna need help from other teams though. So basically, you're gonna have them at least lose one game. Either the Rams, or it doesn't matter if it's the Rams or the Seahawks. You have to have at least one of them lose one game in order to punch your ticket into the postseason. And the Packers is a must-win because they are 7-8, just like the Vikings. If you beat them, if you beat the Green Bay Packers, I don't think you really have to worry about them, really. And the Saints and the Bucks, I mean, you do want the Buccaneers to win another NFC South title just because the Saints are 7-8 as well. You want them to lose as well. And then you want the Bears to beat the Falcons because the Falcons are 7-8. So that means you don't have to worry about those three teams if all those things come to fruition, and or if the Rams lose to the Giants or to the 49ers, that's their remaining games. I mean, I see them only losing to the Niners. So that means if you win both games and the Rams lose one, then you're good. I mean, the Seahawks, they have a decent schedule. I don't know. The only losable game for the Seahawks is the Steelers. So I don't really see how it's going to go, but we will see what happens. All you have to do is just win your 2 games and have other teams help you out then. That's the only way I think it happening. I mean, and just because Jaren Hall is in this spot right now, he's as the QB1, it makes a lot of things interesting to watch. I am so excited to see Sunday night with Jaren Hall. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt at all, but we will see what happens. As far as like my score predictions for the Vikings and Packers, I see it maybe being an offensive shootout between both teams. I see the game going I think the Vikings do get the win at 8-8 and sweep them and sweep those cheeseheads. I think final score 31-24 is my final score prediction because of course it's a 1-score game. Of course it is. So we'll see how it goes. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Skol.